So let's get right into it. I get this question so frequently that I know it's something that is on your minds, and that is, do you really need a website for your real estate business? And the answer might surprise you. You all reach out regularly saying, Amanda, which website and IDX do I need for my business? I just got my license. I want to get started right away as quickly as I can. And here's the thing. You do not need to spend a bunch of time or a bunch of money getting your website set up. And the reason for that is there are other more powerful pieces that you can implement in your business to get you up and running faster. In my first year as a real estate agent, I shelled out a ton of money on a website. I hired a company, I worked with them. I had no idea that not only was I going to be shelling out a ton of money, it also sucked a ton of my time, because although you can hire someone like I did to get it all set up, they need all of the information to be able to input into your website. And then they'll be asking for branding too. And I can remember vividly as a new real estate agent thinking, what branding? I didn't have any branding. I had just gotten my license. And the fact of the matter is, things have changed over time. The good news is for you, you don't have to have a website to be successful in real estate. There are other key components that you can set up that will get you moving faster than a website will. I don't want you to think not having one is going to set you back or really impact you in any way whatsoever. Back in the day when I got my license a really long time ago, websites were a great way to generate business. As long as you were blogging, optimizing them for SEO, and consistently adding content to them, it worked great. I generated a lot of leads from my website over time, but that's just not the case anymore. Your clients are not going to be going to your website to search for homes. And I know that might sound off to some of you, but here's the thing. They're going to go to the well-known players, the Zillow, the Redfin, Homes.com, Realtor.com, the big guys in this arena, just because they're well-known and that's what consumers do. They're not going to say, oh, I need to go to real estate agent A's website to search for homes. That's not going to be their process. But that's actually good news for you, and one of the reasons that you don't have to jump into getting a site right away. Even if you have a website, but it doesn't have a home search tool, you're also okay in today's market that we're in. That's just not what consumers are going to do. Long time ago, yes, they were going to your website to then want to work with you. But nowadays, that's just not the case. They're going to be looking elsewhere, and that's what I'm going to talk a little bit more about so that you can get those profiles set up instead of spending a bunch of time and money on your website. First up is set up social profiles in platforms where you know clients in your area are going to be looking you up. You want to make sure that if someone is searching your name, that you are showing up on the first page of Google. So think about, you want to have a public Instagram account. You definitely want to have a Google business profile. That one is really, really important. And you also want to have a Facebook business page. If you have a personal profile on Facebook, my recommendation is go in, if need be, clean it up, take out anything that you wouldn't want the general public to see, and then go ahead and open that up and make it public as well. You really need to be front-facing in your business nowadays. People do their research online and they're going to check into your social proof. When you're setting those up, make sure it's very clear and easy to see with just one click what your name is, what area you serve, and what type of clients you serve as well. You want to make it very easy for consumers to figure out who you are, what you do, and who you serve. You also want to be sure that you are then posting consistently on these profiles. Doesn't mean that you have to post consistently on every single one. That would be a little overwhelming, but you do want to pick at least one, maybe two, and consistently post to it every single week. Next up is send your clients, your family, and your friends to those pages to leave you reviews. Reviews are such a powerful way to build your brand and show consumers what it's like to work with you, what the client experience is that you provide, and where you really excel. It's always more powerful coming from someone else than it is coming directly from us. If you do that, I promise you, you are already light years ahead of any agent that dumped a few grand into a website 10 years ago. There's no need to even try to compete against Google, Instagram, and Facebook as far as SEO goes. You just need to make sure you have a brand presence with those 3 sites. I also recommend heading over to Zillow and Realtor.com to make sure that your profile is completely set up there. If you do those 5 and get your profiles all set up, you can totally get away without having a website. My other tip is to get a domain and then have that domain forward to the website your broker provides. That's exactly what I do. I own AmandaDavidson.com. Try to get your name if possible, but that can be expensive and just tricky overall. Whatever you do though, make sure that the domain name is not too long. You want it really concise and easy to remember, and you don't want it to be too long because think about where you're going to be sharing this. It could be on print materials, so you want it to be neat and clean on those. And if your broker doesn't provide you with a website, then the other thing that you could do is simply build a site really quickly and cheap on WordPress. It doesn't even have to have a home search option. You don't have to integrate an IDX and spend the money and time to do that. This really comes down the road though. Focus on your social profiles first, and then once you've got them up and running, if you want to consider this, by all means do so. Your website really nowadays is just for social proof. And sure, if you are putting your website address on your marketing materials and in your varying social media profiles, you might have clients, somebody that's looking into you, just pop over there to see what it looks like. But I guarantee you that's not going to be how they're ultimately going to want to work with you, nor is it likely to be how they contact you in order to start a conversation. My version of a website these days is my Instagram profile. That's where I spend the majority of my time. It's where I share the most information, and it's where someone can learn the most about me. I recommend, again, picking one social profile to really stick with initially and get in the habit of consistently posting on. And then if you want to integrate another one down the road, that's fine. Just make sure that you get your profiles set up as soon as you get your license. Instagram is a great way to connect with your ideal client. As long as you are putting out content that really speaks to them, I promise you, you can generate a lot of business from Instagram. Make sure that profile is optimized though. You don't want people who are thinking about working with you to have to click in a bunch of different places to be able to contact you. They will fall off your page and you won't convert. You've got to make it easy for them. So get your profile set up to show who you are, where you work, and who you serve. And bonus points, you don't have to do this right away, but consider adding something like a Linktree link to your profile. You can only have one link on Instagram in your profile, so something like Instagram allows you to add more information to drive leads where you want them to go. If you go that route, I recommend the very first spot in your Linktree link should be a way to contact you. Mine is just a 15-minute work with me call. They can go on Calendly and easily schedule, and then I'll get a notice that they want to have a call with me. I do recommend though, make sure that you keep your calendar up to date, because when people pop on there, they can see your availability and just pick a time. So you've got to be diligent about your calendar on the back end. If you found this video helpful, let me know in the comments. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're interested in more content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.